Good morning, everybody. My name is Pedro Silva from OPCO, and we are here today to talk a little bit about cybersecurity, about information security, and the referential TISAX. We have with us today an expert from VDA, Christian Frisch, that I would like to invite him to introduce himself. Christian, please.
Yes, good morning. Like Pedro said, my name is Christian Frisch. I'm at VDA QMC as a self-employed trainer, and we have also joined the evaluation and the creation of the training for TISAX. You can also find some further information about this on the OPCO website, I guess. And I was taking the leading part in creation the TISAX training for the VDA QMC. I was not a team member of the working crew, but I was taking the leading part to create the training sections. And me personally, I'm self-employed service provider in the quality management system. I have own company of 14 peoples. We are located in Germany, and one of our main business besides the quality management business is information technology since 4 years, and we have realized in the meantime more than 50 positive projects in the information security or TISAX for automotive related view.
Very good. We are in good hands, that's for sure. And I would like to start asking a situation that it's even today, nowadays, very present. I can say that even here in Portugal, in terms of information security, we have had and are having more and more incidents. Even this week, 2 days ago, I went to a medical appointment, and the doctor was doing everything by hand. And she explained we had a cyber attack. So it affected all the hospitals. I'm not sure, but all the hospitals in the south side of the river Tejo. So several hospitals are without system, are without the possibility to work in the network. So of course, this is not automotive, but we have had also some cases here. So my first question would be, how do you see the actual risks in terms of the information security field?
So first of all, dear Pedro, we should separate two things. One's cybersecurity risks, also in organizations, or we will talk later on about cybersecurity risks, for example, for connected cars. But we need to separate two aspects. One's are the information security systems in the company, and there includes also strong infrastructures to prevent of cyber attacks for companies or organizations, like a hospital. It's also an organization. It doesn't matter about tier 1 or tier 2 in the automotive industry. That's for organizations. TISAX is only the automotive specific part for to handling information security. In general, we can say also as our experience out of the last 4 years, often the IT infrastructure and the IT departments which are facing the cybersecurity risks from outside and to adapt the right infrastructures and the right systems for the organization to prevent of cybersecurity. That's mostly not the main risk. That's interesting, because the main risk often goes out through unsensitized people or unsensitized employees and systematics which have possibility to open some doors, when I can say it. A very simple visual thing is, you can have the best door locks, but when somebody let the door stay open, then the best door locks are ineffective. Yeah? Exactly. And especially this is a part of information security. First of all, it's very important to know what kind of informations in your organization you have, and information security management calls those informations assets. Yeah, so it's very important to know what kind of assets you have. The second point is to know about the potential risks, what can be happen out of those assets, and the potential risks has not only to reviewed from one perspective, like risks, you know, in quality issues, for example. When you go with an FMEA in a quality production or production process, FMEA, for example, you only look for one perspective. What can be happen and have negative influences of my quality of the product? That's the only one perspective. In the information security, you have three perspectives which you need to respect all the time. Means, what can be happen when my asset or my relevant information is not secured against unallowed access, for example. The second perspective is what's about the potential risks if my relevant asset is not available, the availability.
The availability, yes.
And the third one is what's about the risks against integrity of this information. What will happen when this information changes, was unallowed changed, or changed by mistake? Yeah? It can be also have a big negative influence for the organization, and especially in the automotive industry. Also there we have different kinds of informations which can have a different negative influence, more or less, for projects or also for our customers. And the deeper logic of TISAX means, be sure that you have controlled all your informations in the right way against potential risks out of these three perspectives. And this is a little bit different to the standard quality thinking.
Yes, that is more directed. Yeah.
Yes, but when you start to go familiar with these approaches, and you are starting in your company to understand the deeper logic of information security and how can you handle all those tasks, you will see the toolbox you are using. It's more or less similar to quality toolboxes, but the perspectives are a little bit different. And back to your question, how do you see the actual information security risks? I can say the technical aspects, often not the main risks. A lot of risks when we do some projects, we see that the understanding in the company and the management system surrounding the company doesn't respect all potential risks for information security out of these three perspectives, and the sensitization of the people in the companies needs to be improved, and that's a learning process. It needs to start, and then you have a continuous improvement process similar like a quality management system.
Okay, yeah, that situation that you mentioned with the persons, I would say it's the last frontier, right? The behavior of the people, the awareness of the potential risks, and I would say not only in terms of working, but also in our personal life. When you receive those mysterious emails saying that we have a package to be delivered, and we start wondering, well, I didn't order anything, so what is this? So all of those situations, as you said, we can have the best door, but if we leave it open, or if we open it to strange people, then it will be useless.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay, and having this in mind, and now with the evolution of the standards, IATF and so on, how do you see the evolution in terms of the OEMs or German OEMs or the big tier one suppliers? How are they reacting in terms of their requirements to their supply chain?
So first of all, also here, we have a difference to, you use the wording standard, like IATF or ISO 9001, for example. TISAX is not a standard like IATF. You cannot go for a certificate. In the TISAX world, or in the information security world, according to TISAX, we call it a label. It's similar like a certificate, but it's not given by an accredited organization like a certification body. It's another organization behind called ENX, and it's in TISAX is an automotive specific labeling. There is the word TISAX, perhaps interesting to explain, means T for trusted, I for information, S for security, A for assessment, and X for exchange. Perhaps somebody of your participators on your summit here knows about the VDA ISA questionnaire in the past. And the ENX is a organization which organizing the objective audit organizations to have a view about the fulfillment of the questions or of the requirements of the ISA in the companies, and they provide a platform where the supplier and the customer can have a view to the result or to the label status, means an exchange platform, and to this it's trusted and it's exchanged, and in the middle of T and X we have the ISA from VDA.
Okay.
And so that's a little bit word playing, but that's the sense of TISAX. And the OEMs and also the major tier ones since 2 or 3 years, and we see the market, especially in the last 2 years, grows more and more, and the requirements are very simple. OEMs often require a confirmation from their suppliers about facing the requirements of VDA ISA and showing a label within defined time period. If you are not be able to show minimum a sufficient project plan with a final date, they will give you no further respect in a quotation, for example.
Yes,
So
yes, that's true.
that grows more and more as a very fundamental thing for the OEMs, and in the meantime also major tier ones. I know it, for example, from Bosch or also Conti, are following also in this direction, and it's only a question of time when this requirement will arrive, all tier twos and perhaps also tier threes, so and brands.
Yeah, almost for sure that it will be deployed in the supply chain. Here from some of our customers, we start seeing by OEM requirement, and as you said, having in consideration future projects requiring the level 3 assessment to continue the business as a way to assure the security. But lately we have seen also, in this case, it was a German tier one also requiring to their suppliers also the assessment and the classification as a way to continue the new business. Yeah, and as you said, it will be a matter of time to be deployed further and further.
Yeah, so we see also it's only question of time when this requirement will arrive each company. And when perhaps some of your participators here today have the requirement on their table to start with TISAX, there are some fundamental questions to clarify also before you start, like what kind of label or what kind of label status I need, because there are some differences between the security level, high or very high, and also some differences about prototype relevant issues, yes or no. And those questions has to be clarified from the start between a supplier and his customer, because out of the decision or out of the definition of the label type, the relevant questionnaires of the VDA ISA are given more
to
or
be
less
adequate to the
this
case.
Is depending on the supplier situation, prototypes, yes, no, high or very high security is required. And then you have more or less activities to set out or to realize in your company. That's questions. They have to be cleared between supplier and customer. So you see, that's not a standalone task for suppliers. It's a connection between both, because both sides has to be interested in a secured information system between the companies, because informations are assets, and assets means also money.
Of course, and there is always the one who sends the information, the one who receives the information. So it's always in both ways. That question of the prototype, yes, it was interesting. We had one project here. The first discussion was precisely that. What is a prototype? What we are doing, can it be considered, or will it be considered a prototype or not? And in the end, after talking also with the customer, the situation was clear. So there is a lot to discuss on this. And then, Christian, I would go in a little bit different direction, connected but not directly. When we are starting to talk more and more about autonomous driving, about over-the-air updates, about the grids and connectivity between vehicles, what do you say about this, about the topic that we have been discussing and other subjects also related with VDA? What is being done?
Of course, when we talk about technical aspects for the future in our cars and how we would like to go on the road autonomous, for example, in future, of course, there we have some connections out of the information security system in organization into our products. It's very simple. When my information security system, management system in the company is not strong, then I have potential risks also for my products, in different in different ways. But the question about over-the-air technologies, updates, autonomous driving, and the impact for the products to realize visionary things like this are more given in the product self. And there we have a heavyweighter focus or heavy weighting focus about cybersecurity. And for this, it's a little bit different to the information security of the organization. There we talk mainly about the cybersecurity for our products, and especially for this, also on VDA working groups in the last years, they create own standard called Automotive Cybersecurity Management System. And the interesting point of this aspect is there we have a European legal situation which have to be fulfilled by the OEMs. And the OEMs said is very simple. A lot of products related to these requirements, to these legal requirements, are supply parts. And I cannot take the whole responsibility for this. I do it because it's my car I release into the market, but they start to connect also those aspects into the supply chain.
Yes.
And on VDA side, they start with a working group and create the standard automotive cybersecurity management system to break down the relevant requirements from legal and the OEM to use it as an audit standard for the supply chain. And that's a quite new standard. And perhaps you have also the chance to talk with another specialist, especially for this topic. In case of information security, it's not unrelevant, but it's a little bit different. Information security is the organization, and automotive cybersecurity is also management system, but it's facing more the security in the products there.
I understand. Okay, Christian. I guess we'll take your comment and we'll keep this series of videos also now for the cybersecurity management system. For now, I have to thank you for your enlightening for this situation. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And I believe we will be seeing each other soon for other topics also in this type of activity. Thank you very much, Christian. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Pedro.